Hey guys, Andrew Davidson here with As Per My Ability. Thanks for checking out another video. In this video we're jumping right into the literary world with Abomination, the Heir of Frankenstein. Now before I get into the actual video, I want to make two statements. One, Han shot first. Two, Frankenstein is the scientist, not the monster. There, having said that, let's move into the video. So the video is about Abomination, the Heir of Frankenstein. For those of you that don't know, or maybe do know, Frankenstein's a novel by Mary Shelly. It's a story about Victor Frankenstein, the guy, the scientist, who reanimates a body, brings a body back to life, ends up hating it, thinks it's an abomination, hence the name of the game, and completely just loses everything to get away from this thing. So this game takes place within this literary world, but it's set 20 years in the future. So if anything, I like telling people that this is a sequel to the novel Frankenstein. So in the sequel, in this game, the monster has been roaming the world for 20 years. He doesn't know where he fits in. He's never given a name. He's never given an identity. He has no community. He has nobody. So he has called together scientists. He has brought scientists to Paris to basically do what Victor did and create another monster for him to live with. So basically to create a companion, someone that is like him, someone that he can be with, someone that he can have camaraderie with. And that is what you are doing in this game. In Abomination, the Heir of Frankenstein, it is 20 years in the future, and you are trying to grab dead bodies, get fresh organs, maybe even use a little bit of your assistant's blood to try to electrify and reanimate another corpse if you can. You'll probably score pretty well. Let me show you how it works. Here's the board for the game. It's not set up at all, as there are decks of cards that will be placed on the board when you play. Abomination is a worker placement game, which means that you will have different places to go when you have a turn. You will have a worker to go to that particular spot. Now there is a lot going on in this game, and I am only going to give a very few minutes of an overview to the game, and not necessarily really how it's played, but kind of what's involved in the game. So, as I've said, worker placement. You've got places like the morgue, the cemetery, the church, the academy or the university where you can give lectures and stuff. You can go work at the hospital, or you can steal bodies from the hospital. There's a open market, or there's a market here where some people will be killed, and they will show up. They will get cards that look like this, that will show you what their body parts are. They will show up in the marketplace like that. As you can tell, the artwork does not shy away at all from any type of, I mean, this guy's head is basically gone. They've guillotined this particular individual. Anyways, moving the board a little bit down here, you can hire people down here to go out and kind of do your work for you. You can, like I said, go to the church. You can go to the market to basically get some ice to preserve your organs, get some stuff to charge electricity. There are game end objectives right here that are not put out. And then the best of all is the spot right here, which is the murder someone. You can literally go into a back alley and murder someone. And boy, let me tell you what, they provide the freshest of specimens or whatever. Things like that. So this is the board, very briefly, but mostly what you're going to be doing is you're going to be working in your lab. So every player is going to have this little sheet here that's their laboratory. You're going to have different dials. That's your humanity, your reputation within the town, and your expertise, meaning how good you are at putting together bodies. You've got a table here in which you will be having some body parts coming out, and trying to put skin on them and bones, and so you will be basically literally kind of creating a person on your table. You'll be using this chart here that basically shows what you need For the organs, in order to put together an arm or a head or what have you, players will be referencing this chart a lot. So you'll want to get your body out first where it'll just be muscle, and then you're going to want to collect some blood and stuff to give it some skin, and then after that you can try to electrocute it, or electrify it I should say, and see if that body part comes alive. The goal of the game is to try to get all 6, the head, the torso, 2 legs and 2 arms electrified. That would trigger the end of the game. There's also a round tracker, which I do not have on screen, that also will give everyone 12 rounds. At the end of 12 rounds, if nobody's managed to do this whole thing, then the game's over and you just kind of add up where you're at. So players will be working a lot in their lab. This marker here represents how fresh your organs are. And so you have organs that are like white for bone, brown for flesh, purple or blue are organs, red is blood. Now these little cubes that you're going to be placing in these spots. Now 1 means that it is the freshest. It is brand spanking new. It's very fresh. 2, not so much. 3, 4 is basically like decomposing like materials. It's not so good. At the end of every round, you are going to degrade everything. Everything's going to shift down, and once it gets to the 4, it's gone. It's basically you can't use it. There is a way to mitigate that. Like I said, on the board you can buy ice. If you have a big ice chunk, you can basically freeze or keep your things cool, so that way they do not advance at the end of the round, and the ice will preserve you for 2 rounds, and then the ice will be gone. And so I think that's really cool. There are also some spots that you can go to in your lab to work, to basically give blood. You basically force your assistant to give some blood, which would go on the track, and you can get some electricity. So yeah, that's kind of the overview of the 2 boards. The main board here where you'll be taking your actions, and then your own personal board where you'll be keeping track of your humanity, your reputation, your expertise, and of course, the body that you will be working on in order to get points and hopefully end the game. The game is cool. It comes with these reference cards. It also comes with a tracker. It also comes with encounter cards. At the beginning of every round, you will read some narrative that will basically change the state of the game for that round. Like, for example, the academy might be locked off, or for example, someone might have gotten caught stealing from so-and-so's jewelry store, and so now they've been beheaded in the public square, and guess what? There's a fresh body just recently killed, like just this afternoon, up here in this spot for people to go and like, hey, I'm going to take that body. You got to pay some money, so you're basically kind of greasing some palms, saying move that body, instead of taking it down to the morgue, hey, why don't you take it over to my little vehicle over here and put it back. And so then you get to take that body home into the laboratory and get all your organs. That is a very quick 3 to 5 minute overview of what the game is kind of about and how it looks. So let's get back to me talking about what I think about this game. So my final thoughts on Abomination, the Heir of Frankenstein. Wow. Where to begin? I'm going to get a little lost trying to talk about this game. This game is good. This game is really good. As you've already seen, it's a worker placement game. It's got all the things that good games really need. It's got the complexity, it's got the choices, but the choices that matter. It's got the engine building aspect to it. It's really, from a mechanical sense, a really good, solid worker placement game. I'd put it up there with other worker placement games that I love, such as Lords of Waterdeep and Viticulture. But there's a lot going on in this game, and that's what I like. It's really complex. It's got a lot of different options, but all the options are meaningful, and all the choices and strategies are interesting. I have not played Abomination a bunch. I think I've played it about 3 times at the time of filming this. And I still want to get this thing back to the table and go, what about this strategy? What if I tried to focus more on this and not this? And that's really cool. That's really cool to have in a game. So as you can tell, I really like this game. Mechanically, it's really sound. Now, let's get into the dirt of it. As you've seen, this is a really dark game. The theme is really dark. You're stealing bodies. You're paying people off to, hey, instead of taking that body down to the graveyard or down to the morgue, why don't you just grease your palms a little bit and you can throw it in the back of my vehicle or my wagon or whatever. And you're trying to get the freshest body parts to use to make your abomination, to make your creature. Wow, that's deep. That's up there with this war of mine in regards to themes that I just kind of shake my head going, oof, I don't know. And the artwork, as you see, doesn't shy away from it. It's not cartoony at all. And you know what? I love it. It makes me love the game even more. I don't know. Maybe I'm just really macabre, or maybe I'm got some morbid kind of brain upstairs or something. But I really enjoy it just as much as I mean, I enjoy this War of Mine, which is a completely different game that's got a very serious, very dark. There's like suicide in the game and stuff like that. I enjoy that game, and I enjoy Abomination for kind of the same reasons. I like that it's dark. I like that it's messed up. I like that the story will advance through the encounter cards, and someone will be hung. And you're like, fresh body, yeah. Everyone at the table is like, for this round, we've got new, fresh, like stage 1 bodies. That is awesome. It's like people are being killed. Hey, the guillotine was used today. That's great. It's so wrong, but it's so good. It just works. The theme, it's dark. I get it. It's not for everyone. It is, however, for me, since this is my channel, something I really enjoy. I really like the theme. I like the darkness. I like just the macabre kind of sense of the whole thing and the artwork. It all comes together in a really weird package, but at the end of the day, it's still a solid game. So I really recommend people checking out Abomination, the Heir of Frankenstein. It's got a lot of replayability because the encounter cards and the way that the story progresses is different every time because you assemble it differently every time. Also, sometimes people can win by animating their corpse, or you can just simply run out of time. The scoring is very interesting in it in regards to you don't necessarily have to just reanimate your whole body to win the game. You can get points kind of by doing some other things and stuff like that. Like I mentioned, there's lots of different valuable strategies or viable strategies. So that's Abomination, the Heir of Frankenstein. I really think it's cool. It's got a cool story to it. If you like Frankenstein, if you've read the novel, if you know enough about the story, this is a really great sequel for you to get into. It's got a cool idea to it. If you haven't read the novel, maybe you just like worker placement games, this is a really, really solid addition to your collection if you like the theme. I will be keeping this game, I will be playing it some more, and I'm going to be recommending it right now to you. So thanks for watching, and as always, I will see all of you at the next video. Bye.